Hey, what's up, folks? Back again with I always say a very special video, but a highly important one. And I wanted to get this one out a lot sooner, so I apologize for that. But I want to speak about seasonal depression and what you can do. See, in the title, it's likely going to say how to cope with it because I don't want people to get mad at me and say, "Oh, you can't destroy depression. You can't do it." Whatever. The goal is to not fight with you, to not try to redirect how you feel about it, but to help you. All right, and I just let me just start off by saying that I know that I may be a little bit charismatic with the way that I approach it, a little light, perhaps, but understand this is not coming from somebody who is passing on theory to you. Very little of what I do with my videos is theory. All right, I've definitely been through this. All right, I don't think it's time to go through a story, but I've been through it. I've been bedridden at times with anxiety, crippling anxiety. I've been suicidal, all these things. Um, but right now it's all about you. So without further ado, the first thing we got to talk about preparation. All right. So I'm going to assume that your seasonal depression comes around this time, October, November, December, perhaps around your birthday. But I'm making this video with the later months in mind. Okay, so preparation. So when we talk about preparation, the first thing that comes to my mind is to surrender. And when I say surrender, I mean accept. And when I say accept, I mean accept that around this time is usually when you get your seasonal depression. All right, as opposed to resisting. You know what they say. What you resist persists. All right. So we accept this. Now that's a scary thing to do. And again, I'm very charismatic about saying this, but only through having my hands up in the air so many times with disgust and just feeling like, well, come on, life, get me what give me what you got. Only through doing that did I realize, like, hey, you know, this makes things easier for me. This lightens the load. This takes away all expectations. All right, bring it on. All right, so again, you accept these things. You understand around this time, this is when the depression hits the worst. This is when it gets the worst. So now, what do we do about this after accepting? All right, off the top of the dome, because I didn't even write notes for this one. You you incorporate things into your life that will help you make it through this seasonal depression. And hopefully, if you do deal with depression, it is seasonal. Makes this a lot easier because we're not just talking about depression; we talk about seasonal depression. All right, so the things that I do to prepare myself for such a time, it's cold out and all that. This is when I actually do double down on my cold showers. It really sounds counterintuitive, counterproductive, but without giving you the scientific aspect of it, you can anything that I say, you can follow me up on this. Is that cold showers have been proven to ease depression and anxiety. So, cold water for cold times. All right. This is especially the time where you want to reflect. That's what they say when we talk about four seasons. They say every season has a reason, and around winter time, that's when you're supposed to reflect, take it all in, hibernate, sort of, kind of get bigger. So I'm personally going to take this time to bulk up, to really double down on working out, maybe even slow down the pace, actually, which is the advice that I give to people who have anxiety. You got anxiety, everything's all over the place. Slow it down. Slow it down. If you're depressed and things aren't moving the way you want it to, then speed it up. Speed it up. Have a little fun with that. Speed it up. Make a game out of it. But typically, my advice for people going through this time, going through winter, is to be very reflective. Have your introspections. All right. Use this time to build up. So we're reading. All right, we're reading self-help. We're exercising. All right, that's good for the mind. That's good for dopamine. We're exercising. All right. In fact, you know what? I want to take this time to segue right into something that's just kind of right under your nose, and it's like, if you want to be happy, do what happy people do. All right. And so when we think about what happy people do, what do happy people do? Well, I just said it. I said one of the things, they work out. They get up early. They do things and don't beat themselves up for it. You know, they do things for joy, for purposes of joy, and they don't beat themselves up for it. All right. So you may beat yourself up for eating that ice cream or watching that television. And I say, and a great deal of my video is, about being productive and saying, man, put that TV away and working what you got to work on. But happiness is the ultimate goal. If watching television, eating ice cream makes you happier, fine. But if the goal is also to be productive, then you find a way to balance it out. All right, so you balance out, your ice cream habit. Even if you eat ice cream every day, you balance it out by intermittent fasting. All right, you balance it out by having a healthier diet with everything else. All right, and you use ice cream as a reward or something. You use your television as a reward. You balance that out by knocking shit out, knocking out your personal to-do list. Or you balance it out by reading. All right. So again, to wrap this up, not to wrap up this video, but to sum up what I'm talking about, do what the happy people do. Happy people read. Happy people get up early. Happy people exercise. Now, that doesn't mean you have to wake up in the morning and say, oh, golly gee, what a day to be alive. You don't have to do that, but even going through that motion can help you, because especially if you can make it a habitual thing. So you habitually drag yourself out of bed, because eventually it's going to get easier, okay? Because if you start to implement your morning routine, it starts to get easier. It gives you something to look forward to, all right? So happy people do these things, okay? They don't beat themselves up. They read, they exercise, they help people, all right? So we do all of these things, and what greater reminder that there are people to help than a time like this. It's November. It's it's going to get even colder. It's people out there really suffering. All right, that's not to take away from your suffering, but man, people got it bad out here, man. We all in this together. It's the reason why I make these videos. I don't make these videos because I'm on the other side. I make these videos to let you guys know, hey, I'm in this fight with you. All right, and I think a lot of you understand that. The reason why you subscribe is you understand that I'm in this with you. All right, and these are the tools that I personally implement. Okay, so you got to resolve to find a way to not take things personally. All right, because we talking about seasonal depression around here. Things are gonna start to pile up, and we gonna start taking things personally that have nothing to do with us, and all that. So the next thing is to cut back on your social media use unless you're creating. All right, use social media to create, not to consume. All right, because when you got seasonal depression at a time like this, and you go on that not YouTube, but you go on Instagram and Facebook, and you see people saying, fuck winter, I had to go to Cancun. I'm staying in Las Vegas. It's easy to say, well, you shouldn't be upset about that, It's easy to say that. But I understand that you are going to be. Through comparison, all of these things. Leave it alone, man. Find a way to wade in the coldness. Find ways to ride it out. With all of the things that I've already said. And, of course, and, not comparing yourself to what other people are doing, focusing in on yourself. This is why I'm big on meditating. Also, I put out a video where it's under a semen retention journal talking about how you can use one type of meditation to put yourself on a vibrational level where depression and anxiety doesn't live. So it's highly imperative to have a morning routine at a time like this when it's cold. You know, you want to get up and hop right into your purpose, to hop right into your morning routine, right into what you know needs to be done. Okay? Because you don't want to just be fighting off the cold and trying to fight off, you know, your depression, your worry, whatever it is. Get yourself busy in the right way, a way that's going to add to the quality of your life. So a morning routine is especially imperative at a time like this towards the end of the new year. Also, as you start off on your New Year's resolutions and all that, it's going to be especially powerful to have these morning routines working for you. You got some momentum going. You're starting to feel better about yourself. Okay. Also, it's not a great rule of thumb to hang around a bunch of depressive people. All right. So, because we find ways to find comfort, you know, in things that are not very much beneficial to our lives, and in fact quite detrimental, and that can often be the people that we choose to surround ourselves with. So you want to lower you want to reduce the amount of contact that you have with them, especially when things start to get when things start to get negative. Okay. And you want to also, complaining. It seems like a subtle thing, but it's quite a big thing. You want to reduce the amount of complaining that you do. You know, okay? If you can do something about it, don't complain. If you can't do something about it, don't complain. Don't get in your way. We're not making excuses. Even if we're suffering, we're not making excuses. We're acting as if, alright, this ain't faking until you make it, but we want what we want. And, see, here's something that I was thinking, and I'm probably going to make a video on this, but when it comes to depression, it almost doesn't seem fair, but one thing that really does make us depressed when we are depressed is to not do the things that we always wanted to do. So that's why I'm very adamant about doing these things even when your soul is like hesitant, when your soul is apprehensive about doing these things, because you'll come around. The pendulum will swing. All right, you never want to be at a place where you start to feel some joy, but you don't know why, and then you start questioning. You're like, why do I feel joyful, man? Like, I ain't getting shit done. I ain't doing no, you know. And you can find yourself right back to where you were. So it's good to do some of the things that you really want to do, that matter to you, that you're passionate about while you are down. So when you get up, you can connect the dots and you say, well, this is what kept me up. This is what got me up. This was going to keep me up. So I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this. All right. Then you start getting other people involved, and you know it recycles. It trickles down and it recycles. All right. So actually, I feel like I should have made a list because I'm all over the place. But with that being said, I think this is a great start. If something else comes to mind, I'm going to put that out as well. But I just need to go ahead and leave a mark right now for some of you people who may be experiencing that. Just know that there are things that you can do. You don't have to find yourself victim to such a circumstance. And you don't have to give up on the fight. The only fight that you need to give up on as far as seasonal depression goes is give up on your resistance. Alright? Accept all enemies into your life. Alright? And then prepare for war. Find a way to love the process, to fall in love with the process. And again, you will find a way to do that with some of the things that I've mentioned. In fact, I don't recommend you doing one thing. Something that I'm going to keep introducing to people is gumbo, which is gathering ultimate mastery by optimizations. Alright, so I believe in doing multiple things to solve a problem. Okay? where one thing will do, multiple things will outdo. Will surpass. So that's my philosophy on it. And also, if you have any questions, let me know, because I'm going off the top of the dome. I just got out of meditation. I'm kind of heads in the sky a little bit, and my memory's bad. But I'm going to reply to all your questions. If you want me to make a video on something, I will. And again, if I remember some more things, because I likely will, um, I'll record it. So don't be too hard on yourself. All right. This is not a there. I'm not patting you on the back and say things will get better. I believe things will, but that's in your hands. See, that's the most powerful thing that I can say, is that the matters can be placed into your hands and you can take control. All right. You don't need to sit back. No matter what you believe in, no matter what God you believe in, you don't have to sit back and wait for God to handle things. Your God gives you the power that you need to take control, to take over. All right. And it takes a bunch of little tactics, a bunch of little things. You place them together, and that's what's going to help you get through a time like this, man. Time goes by so fast. Instead of wishing for it to hurry up and go by, find a way to will yourself through it. While also being present, okay? While putting together these revolutionary tactics, in your own right, revolutionary tactics, to strengthen yourself so you can help other people who are also going through this and who will. All right. So people are depending on you and your strength. So I'm wishing you much strength, much success. All right. Take care.